Getting this on film?
Yes.
All right. And then to stop filming, just press the red button again. The Tinius Olsen concrete compression machine. I'll start off with the loading gauges. Why does it have two of them? There's a gauge here and a gauge here. Why is that?
One's for loading, one's for unloading.
No. One of them is low range, one of them is high range. So this gauge only goes up to 60 kips. This goes up to 300 kips. So if I think that my specimen is going to take less than 60, I'd use this gauge. If I think it'll take more than 60, up to 300 kips, then I'd use this gauge. So is there a button that I push so that I can set it up so as that one of the gauges is operating but the other one is not? Or if I want to use this gauge, is there a button that I push for that?
Yes.
These right here, these are the valves that control which gauge is being operated. So right now the right valve is open. See, these are like faucets on your sink. So these are the range select valves. And so right now I've got the valve open on the right, meaning that if I were to start the test, then this needle would start moving. Both of these gauges have two needles, the red needle and the black needle. The red needle doesn't do anything. It rides along with the black needle. So the black needle is the one that actually moves during the test. I'm not going to be using this gauge, I'll use this one. But once the test starts, both needles will rise together. So both needles will rise together. When the concrete specimen fails catastrophically, the black needle will fall backwards, but the red needle will freeze at whatever the maximum load was. Yeah, the valve. I have to close the valve that operates this gauge, close that valve, and open up this valve. So if I open up the valve on the left, that means that this gauge is the one that's going to be moving during the test. Both needles will be moving as the specimen is loaded. When the specimen fails catastrophically, the black needle will fall back, but the red needle will freeze in place. Okay, so it's got a loading wheel and an unloading wheel. I turn it on over here. There's a lever over here. See? I turn it on. An on-off lever on the right side. This controls the hydraulic pump. Start the pump, shut off the pump. Okay, now moving over here. This is the top head. I can move it up or down by turning this wheel. Okay. Alright, so I align this with the concentric circles. Okay, so the bullseye has concentric circles. I try to center the bottom loading cap on one of those circles. Okay, so there it is. How do I tighten it in place? Yeah, turn this wheel and that brings down the top head. So I like to level it first. Okay, and there's another set of circles under here, so I can align it on the top also. Okay, so I'm going to turn this and bring the top head down. This sign, respiratory protection with people. So even in the pre-COVIDian era, they recommended masks in here because it's so dusty. Did someone wander off? Okay, anything I'm forgetting? We want both needles to start off at 0. Unload it. Okay, so I have to close the unload wheel. I want it to start off with the unload wheel closed. Okay, so 0 pounds. Looks nice and snug. Okay. So how do I start adding load?
You turn the load.
Turn the load wheel very gently. We're supposed to add load at about 750 pounds per second. I'm kind of sloppy on that. It's hard to nail that exactly. So I just say load it slowly. How come this gauge isn't moving? I don't see the needles over here moving. Yeah, the valve is closed for that one. I've never tried opening both valves at once. I don't know what would happen if both of them were open at once. So if you ever run this machine, you load it very slowly. Notice that I just opened the loading wheel a little bit. Now what color is this concrete?
Gray.
Gray? It's supposed to be brown. Remember how I put dye in it? It's supposed to be brown. Okay, so we're up to 10,000. 12,000?
It's going up pretty fast.
I think I'm doing it about right. It's supposed to be around 750 pounds per second. $25,000.
Yeah, we made this thing like 7 days ago.
I heard something. Oh, ooh. See how the black needle fell back? See if I can get any more.
Oh.
I can't see much on my side. What kind of failure do you see over there?
It doesn't crack. It looks like a cone and shear a little bit.
That would be up to you as the design engineer to decide what kind of failure it is.
Things crackling, man.
Would I be able to compress it entirely? Would that be possible? No, because the stroke is only 2 inches. This only moves up about 2 inches, so I would not be able to crush it entirely. The best stuff is happening on the other side, it looks like. So it took 53,500. That's what this is telling us. 53,500.
And what units is that in?
Pounds.
Or P.
53,500. Pounds? Pounds.
53,500 pounds.
Yeah, 53,500 pounds.
I think that's much more accurate than knowledge.
See the top moving up, or the bottom part moving up, I mean. Okay, I'm going to unload it now. So I just open the unload wheel and watch this part go back down. You see it dropping? Back down to 0. Yeah, so this here means 50 kips. I see a 3 there. That means 53 kips, and then it's between 3 and 4. So 53.5 kips. Are we down to 0? All right. So I think that unloads it. So now I'll press stop, and you shut off the machine on the right side.